Hello everyone, welcome back to Classic Comics. This is my review of Cyberfrog Rekt Planet. I reviewed Cyberfrog Blood Honey a while back. I'll put a link to that up in the corner if you want to check that out. So, if you don't know the background, this book is by a comic artist, Ethan Van Sciver. He created Cyberfrog back in the 90s, and it was a short-lived comic series. Then he later landed at DC, was there for many years, then was let go from DC more or less for various reasons. And he began creating independent comics, starting with a new Cyberfrog comic called Blood Honey, which did very well, and this is the follow-up. Now, the character Cyberfrog, the main character, and by the way, this is a really nice, kind of foil cover here. Looks really great. Cyberfrog fell into a state of hibernation back in the 90s. In the intervening years, Earth was invaded by a race of alien wasps called the Vespis, something like that. And Cyberfrog later awoke and was reunited with his friend, a young woman named Heather Swain, who's living in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey with a group of survivors who are hiding from the Vespers because Earth has been basically ravaged. It's in a post-apocalyptic setting, basically. Now, with Ethan's comics, the main draw, of course, is his fantastic art. And the art in this is just absolutely stunning. And it's not just Ethan's line art. I mean, the colors by Kyle Ritter are fantastic as well. Even the lettering is really good. This is probably the most visually stunning comic I've ever seen. I mean, look at that. That is just fantastic. When you look at what passes for art in so many mainstream comics now, there's really no comparison. So much of it is just minimum effort. It's not exciting, just not dynamic, boring, stiff figures, no action, 3D tracing, that sort of thing. There's really no comparison here. So this picks up from the last issue, and he is reunited with Heather Swain, his friend, who was sort of his companion back in the 90s. And Heather has a daughter, a little girl named Lily. And then they're attacked by one of these alien wasps, the Vespis. And Cyberfrog fights and defeats and kills this alien wasp. But he is stung in the process. Now, she takes him back to their encampment where all these survivors are hiding out in the woods. And they're led by this man here named Colin, who's kind of, like a doomsday prepper, kind of a fanatic prepper type. And he thinks Cyberfrog is some kind of monster and shoots him. So he has to recover from that. Now, Lily's father, I believe his name is Henry, has vanished, and so Lily has been going out into the woods occasionally trying to find him. And they're living in this abandoned home, and then Cyberfrog moves in with them, which the daughter is not crazy about because she does not like Cyberfrog initially very much. And if you're wondering why everybody's wearing red, they believe that the wasps can't see red. So if they wear red, they're camouflaged. But anyway, he eventually recovers from the bullet wound, and then Colin kind of shows him around the place and basically makes it clear, like, I'm in charge here, do as I say or else, in so many words. And let's see. And again, you can just see all the lovely art in here. It's just really fantastic. Now, that night, Cyberfrog, he's living out in the trees. He doesn't want to live in the house. And then he hears something, and it turns out to be a couple of these alien wasps. He follows them. and they find the body of the wasp that he killed, and then they take the body and fly away. And he knows this is probably going to be trouble later on. And then, okay, so occasionally they go out on foraging missions to like abandoned towns and stuff like that, and they take turns doing it. So it's Heather's turn to go, so she's going to leave, and she asks Cyberfrog to keep an eye on her daughter, of course. And then here's kind of the weird thing. So one of the members of this survival group, it's this woman here, and she's, I guess, like a witch or something. I don't know, because it seems like it's a pretty mundane world except for Cyberfrog, and there are some other creatures like him who are, he's made with alien technology. And there are some other creatures kind of like him who are enhanced in that way. But other than that, it always seemed like it was kind of a mundane world. But this witch, she seems to actually have powers, like her eyes glow at times. So I guess maybe she really has sorceress powers or something. And she seems to hypnotize the daughter. You see here, you can see her eyes glowing. And hypnotizes the daughter, telling her, you need to go find your father. So she strikes off to go find him. And then the encampment is attacked by this other creature called Spide, who again is another one of these creatures made with the alien technology Cyberfrog is made from. And I guess he's an old enemy from the 90s comics, I guess. I'm not really familiar because I didn't really read those 90s comics. But he and another creature kind of like him called Scorpion, they want to ally with Cyberfrog in effect because they don't like the wasps either. And apparently they have some sort of technology that will allow him to understand the wasps, understand their language, and he downloads that into Cyberfrog, but Cyberfrog defeats him. And then, so Heather returns, and then finds out that her daughter is missing, and of course she's very upset about that. But then the wasps attack. Cyberfrog fights them, but he's badly outnumbered, gets stung repeatedly and wounded. And it turns out that they also have caught the daughter and are holding her hostage, effectively. And they fly off with the daughter and leave him severely wounded and dying. But then Salamandroid shows up. Salamandroid is another one of these creatures enhanced with this alien technology, and he's kind of like a sibling to Cyberfrog, sort of, and presumably is going to probably help him survive, because I think we all know Cyberfrog's not going to die, right? And this sets up the next chapter, Red Extermination. And then there's just several, I think, kind of pin-up images through here. The cover by Jay Lee, which is really lovely. So, one thing that surprised me about this comic is how much EVS puts into the characters. It would be very easy for him to just let the art do all the work, but he does a surprisingly good job on the characters. Most of the comic is really more about Cyberfrog reconnecting with Heather and meeting Lily and trying to settle into this community, even though a lot of them don't want him there. But as I said, the art in this comic, it's among the best I've ever seen. EVS is a great artist, but he's really outdone himself with this one. And I'm really looking forward to the next installment of Cyberfrog. The story's pretty simple, straightforward, but EVS makes up for that with some really solid writing on the characters, like I said. Especially Lily and Heather, and even Colin, the leader of the survivors. I mean, he's obviously set up as kind of a antagonistic character, but he actually is pretty interesting himself. I do wish that the story was moving along a little faster, but it's not a problem. The book doesn't feel padded, but that's probably because so much of what you see in the comic entertains you, because it's such a feast for the eyes. So a big thumbs up on this one, an absolutely dazzling comic by EVS, and looking forward to more from him. Now, Have you read Cyberfrog Rekt Planet? If so, what did you think? Were you pleased with it? Let me know in the comments, and please do like this video before you leave, and sub to the channel, and check out some of my other videos, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.